Good morning, Gaijins. How you all doing? It is Tuesday, June 9th, 2026. The footage you've just seen was the result of Typhoon number 6 that came down just over a week or so ago and completely obliterated our summer garden tent. That is tent number 3 that we've lost to typhoons and storms, but I have already got another one. I'm not bothered about losing that particular one because it only cost me 2,000 yen in the recycle shop. So anyway, but I've got a new one, and the newer one is easier to put up and easier to take down. Haven't got it out of the box yet, but we'll see. I might have a go at putting that up this coming weekend. So yeah, how you all been doing? I've been doing pretty good. Just busy with work and friends and family and all kinds of stuff. I'm in the Serena again, so that, you know what that means. I'm at the laundromat and just about to have some breakfast. A nice baguette sandwich, bacon and vegetables with cream cheese. Not bad for 298 yen. Prices are going up obviously, so everything's getting more expensive. And the only reason I'm at the laundromat today is because the washing machine at home is broken again. It may just be on its way out. The pump may just be broken. The machine itself is almost 10 years old, I think. So I've been going back to the gym as well. I started regularly back at the gym. I'm doing about 3 days a week at the moment. Feels good. Getting back into the swing of things. Feeling a bit more powerful, sleeping better, and getting some stamina back, which is good. Oh, look at this bad boy. Look at that. See how it tastes. Good. I bought this morning before I came here. So we're halfway through the semester, which is good. This old girl is having her shaken next week. That's costing me 238,000 yen. So many new parts, like belts, battery, brake pads, a ton of other parts, filters and stuff that they want to put on. And yeah, she's costing me more than the Z cost me. And recently, I'm not enjoying driving the Z. I don't know if it's a climate change, something's going on with that car, but I just don't enjoy driving it as much as I used to. The clutch is being very temperamental. There's nothing wrong with the clutch. The clutch was replaced a few years ago, and I can't afford to replace it again. That's like 700,000 yen to replace the clutch system. It doesn't need replacing. It works, but it's just being temperamental. And whenever I'm in that car, like other cars around me feel like got to try and get past me somehow. I'm not racing, and it's just ridiculous. Like, people see the Z and they're like, "Oh, I've got to get past this guy." I'm like, "Yeah, go ahead, go." Have you ever read the book or seen the movie Tuesdays with Mori by Mitch Albom? It's a true story of Mitch Albom's former professor at his university, and in the professor's later years of life, in his last years of life, he and Mitch reconnect. And one of the things that Mori says is, you know, people are always in a hurry to get somewhere, and so people want to overtake me. You know, I just let them go on by, get on with what they've got to do. That's the same thing, you know, just let people do what they're going to do. Let somebody else get the ticket. Not much else has been happening, really, to be honest. Got a visit from a good friend recently. Other people getting on with their lives. One friend found a new girlfriend, which is good. Another friend and his wife are trying to have make a family. Unfortunately, she got pregnant a second time, and it didn't stick. So they're getting some advice and some treatment, I guess, in her home country, which is Vietnam. So hopefully they'll be hearing the sound of tiny feet within the next year. Things are working out for people, you know. Sandwich was so good. I got my Wonder coffee this morning. This is a sweet and a bitter taste to it. I'll have been here 27 years in October. Yeah, 27 years. It's gone quick. It's gone very quick. It seems like just mere months ago that I was saying goodbye to friends in the UK to come to Japan for 1 year. And I'm not going to lie, if I knew then what I know now, I would not be here. It's a great place to live, you know, good food, good people, safe. That's what keeps me here. unless you've got real skills that they need and they want experience in consulting for the pharmaceutical industry or something like that, and you can speak Japanese, you're going to be on a good salary and a good job here. You'll be busy, but you'll be on a good job and a good salary. And I guess I'm blessed with my job because it is only part-time, but I make more money part-time than I would full-time. Weird how that works. I get certain concessions on taxes where each tax season I just take my paperwork to the tax office, or I do the e-tax, and they decide if I've made enough money or not, and then they give me a tax rebate, which I wouldn't get if I was working through an employer full-time. I wouldn't be able to do that. So it all works out really well in the long run. The only thing that I don't like about my job is the traveling, because it takes anywhere between 60 to 90 minutes to get to work, just one way. And when you're doing that, several times a week, it can soon eat up the gasoline, and it takes up a lot of time. But I digress. You can't have the best of both worlds, so you can't have your cake and eat it, can you? But yeah, it's a great place to live. The downside is that, and others have said this as well, like, people can't distinguish between people who live here long term or permanently, like myself, and tourists. So when tourists come over and they cause problems, and they don't play by the rules, and they don't care about the law because they're going to be leaving the country in a week or two, it looks bad on everybody. And this is not anything new that I've just recently learned. I've known this pretty much since I got here, that like what one person does, what one foreigner does, it reflects on all foreigners. So like, and without being racist, because I'm certainly not, if one white person does something bad, people think all white people are automatically capable of doing the same. If one black person does something bad, people automatically assume all black people are the same. So when tourists come here and they do something illegal or stupid, it reflects on everybody. And like I say, there's no way to tell who's a tourist and who isn't a tourist. We still go to different places. We still go to different temples and shrines and places of historical interest, or just places to eat. And nobody will know that I'm not a tourist, except for the fact that I've got a Japanese wife and 2 kids. And when we start speaking Japanese, people know that way. And in this area, a lot of the local Japanese people know who I am, so they do speak Japanese to me, and they don't assume that they don't try to speak English. They don't assume that I know Japanese as a tourist. They know who I am, so it's a little bit different. But when I go further up the road, like even just up to Iwakuni, where the American Marine base is, a lot of Japanese service workers in the stores and restaurants speak English because of the American presence there. So it's nice to have that sometimes. And your Japanese comes and goes as well. You can be really good at Japanese one day, and then the next day you can't remember how to even put a basic sentence together. So it comes and goes in waves. Of course, it helps if you're using Japanese frequently, and unfortunately I don't. My job doesn't require that I speak Japanese. But I do need to improve my Japanese. I actually want to improve my Japanese. So yeah, do I enjoy living here? Yes, I love living here, and this is my forever home. I'm locked into a mortgage. Got 25 years left on the mortgage, 25 or 30 years left on the mortgage. I might not be around that long to pay it off, but my goal is to pay it off within the next 8 years. I'm throwing money at that. Now, this car has one more payment this month, just 28,000 yen, and then it's done. And of course, that's Murphy's Law, isn't it? Like the car payment's done, but then everything goes wrong with the car. It's $2.5 grand to fix it and get its JCI. We have to make some choices about whether we're going to keep this car or not. I don't want to have any more debts. This month is the final payment, and I have no more loans other than the mortgage. So, which I consider the mortgage, I don't consider that a debt so much, I consider that an investment. So it's going to be nice. No credit card debt, no more loans, no more car loans, and I don't want to have any more either. And it's usually when you finish paying off something like this, they come at you and like, oh, you consider buying a new car? My Z is not worth as much in Japan as it is overseas. You know, and I know some places the Z is still very cheap to buy as a used one. You can still buy them for $2,000-3,000. But like I say, it's hitting 21 years this year, so another 4 years it will start going up in value if I can keep it on the road that long. I've got some stuff I want to do at home. I want to make a workbench to refurbish my own rims because I have some very good rims at home, which I've used on the Z in the past. So yeah, nothing really exciting to report this week, folks. Living in Japan, you come here as a tourist, you're going to see the touristy things, you're going to pay the touristy prices, and you'll enjoy it. You know, you make a lifetime memory for sure. You know, you'll be talking about your trip to Japan for many years, and that's good. That's a good thing. But living here is a lot different. It really is a lot different. You know, I would say for sure that some things wear off. You know, the excitement wears off after a while, of course, like it does with anything if you do a lot of it. You know, I've got responsibilities now. I've got work that I need to buckle down and do. Living here is a lot different than being a tourist here. Assimilating into the society and the culture, it's not difficult. It's not difficult. I mean, there's always going to be things that you don't like about the society and culture that you decide to move into. But the thing is, the key is you decided to move into it. So, therefore, just go with the flow and, you know, accept what you can't change. Trust me, it's like a lot easier. Would I change living in Japan to live somewhere else? I don't know. I honestly don't know. If I was ever to leave Japan, I would either go back to the UK and buy a canal boat and live on a canal boat, and that way, you know, I can up my moorings and just go to different places. And I would only do that if I had money in the bank that I knew I could live off comfortably for the next 20 years of my life, which obviously, you know, not realistic. Or at least have some kind of work that's going to pull in some money, even if it's on YouTube. That would be great. But you know, we know how YouTube likes to change the rules just as you get used to doing something. Or it would be America, Alaska, or places like Montana. It would have to be like wilderness country. And obviously, I'm not going to be able to do that with family and a wife who loves shopping at Costco and you know, going out to restaurants and stuff. So realistically, it's just a pipe dream to do any of those things. I mean, she would happily live in the UK. I'm not sure about the canal boat because she gets seasick easily on water. But life is pretty good here. It's not overly exciting. You get involved in community events, school events. People know you, you know them. But for the most part, like, people don't try to involve you in a lot of stuff. I'm okay with that. The hardest thing, even after all this time in Japan, is getting stared at. Wherever I go, getting stared at. If you're in the big cities like Hiroshima or Fukuoka, Osaka, Tokyo, etc., you know, people don't stare at you. They're just another tourist, you're just another foreigner, no big deal. But in rural areas like where I live, even on my own estate, you know, people still stare. They know who I am, but they still stare and like, oh, you know, what's the foreigner going to do today? So that still takes a little bit of getting used to. But at the same time, I just go out there and just live my life and get on with it and don't worry about it. People are going to stare no matter what. I will say to people who are considering coming to live in Japan, come and try it first. Don't give up everything. Don't give up your entire life in your home country until you're absolutely 100% sure that Japan is the country for you to live in. Because it takes guts, it takes determination, and there are times you're going to be lonely. There are times that you're going to feel like you're ostracized from society just because you're a foreigner. People mostly assume that you don't speak Japanese, so therefore they won't bother speaking to you. If you get integrated and, you know, if you learn the language and you integrate yourself into society, then you'll do really well here. It can be a really good life here. You just got to go with the flow. Don't come to Japan and think like everybody should speak English or they should speak your language because you don't speak Japanese. I've known people like that. Unfortunately, they cause more trouble than they're worth. You know, just come and enjoy Japan, enjoy the food, enjoy the people, enjoy the hospitality, and you'll get on great. You know, don't try to force your ways and your religious beliefs and your standard of living on other people. That's what it is. You come here for a reason. Something about your home life that you don't want anymore, that you don't like. Look, thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. All right, remember, do what you love or love what you do. Never give up. Take care.